students. I wish that you are in a good health, you and your family, and I wish that you keep yourself safe and sound at home. Today we are going to talk about worksheet number 5, which is talking about how should I working with my worksheets. As you know, we are talking about the Microsoft Excel as a software. Um, and I'm going to give you a quick revision about how we open an Excel sheet. But first thing, I want you to open your booklet into worksheet number 5. I want you to write the date of today here, and I want you to bring your highlight and your pencil because we are going to highlight an important definitions and we are going to solve this worksheet together. So if you don't have your booklet with you, I'm going to attach a copy from this worksheet along with this video on LB12. So let's start. Today we are going to talk about important definitions about the Excel. A quick revision for how can I open the Excel sheet. I give you different types or different methods or ways when we start opening the Excel. You can use the search box, you can use the start menu, you can use the taskbar. Any method for you will do. The most important thing for me is that you can open the Excel. I'm going to use the search box here as you see. Some of you will have it as a magnifier lens. If you click on it using your mouse, you are going to have the search box. I'm going to write the word Excel as you see using my keyboard, and you will find the Excel with a green icon here will appear to you. I'm going to wait until my Excel opened. Um, I want you to practice whatever lesson we are going to have because the practice is everything. If you didn't practice, you will forget whatever I'm teaching you. So now I'm having the Excel here. We are going to talk about different definitions about the Excel. As you said before, that the Excel contains columns and these columns labeled with letters. These columns labeled with letters starting from A till Z. Also, it has rows. The rows are labeled with numbers. We have rows, have rows labeled with numbers. We said also the intersection between the column and the row will give me a cell. This cell name is F7. F7. And F7 called a cell reference. In Arabic means مرجع الخلية. F7 is cell reference أو مرجع الخلية. From here I can know the cell name. The cell name. From the name box here I can also know the name of the cell. A new definition we will talk about, it's a workbook. It's a workbook. Using your using your highlighter, I want you to highlight the word workbook. I want you to highlight the word workbook. A Microsoft Office Excel file is a workbook. Means this file, which is called book 1 because I didn't save it yet, called a workbook. Again, this Excel file, which is named book 1 because I didn't save it yet, called a workbook. A workbook. A Microsoft Excel file is a workbook. This is the definition for the workbook. As you know, I want you to highlight whatever I'm highlighting because it's very important to highlight it. If you have exams, you are going to have these definitions. multiple choice, or fill in the blanks with a word box, or true or false. This is the definition, or this is the important definition. This is the number one important definition. Definition number two is a worksheet. Definition number two is a worksheet. The worksheet here is the area I am working in. Can you see the highlighted area here? This is the worksheet. The worksheet. It's the paper I'm working in. الورقة اللي أنا بشتغل عليها. The working area. The working area. In Excel Microsoft, the working area in Microsoft Excel, the working area is a worksheet. The working, I'm sorry, I don't want you to highlight it all. The working area is the worksheet. If you said the word working area, means I'm talking about the worksheet. I'm giving you time to highlight. It's very important to highlight. If you don't have highlighter at home, you can use your pen or your pencil because these are important definitions. Here, this is a worksheet. On my Excel, this is the worksheet. The cells here, the cells, the columns and the rows. Now, I'm going to have the sheet tab. The sheet tab. What is the sheet tab? The sheet tab here is the below sheet. The below bar here. The below bar here underneath my working area. Underneath my working area. I'm going to press the plus here. Why we call it a worksheet tab? Because here I can find how many sheets I'm having on my workbook. Again, the sheet tab or sheet bar, you can say it tab or bar. It's either ways it's correct. The worksheet tab or worksheet bar, which is here beneath or at the end of my workbook, here having the sheets I'm working in. Sheet number 1, sheet number 2, sheet number 3, sheet number 4. If I ask you how many sheets do I have here, I'm having 4 sheets. I'm having 4 sheets. Each one is different. Like I'm having a notebook, and this notebook had different papers or different sheets. I can do this using the Excel. How can I add another sheet? Can you see the plus here? If I press on it, I'm going to add a new sheet into my workbook. Into my workbook. Okay, now I'm having 5 sheets. So here, how many sheets, how many sheets I'm having? How many sheets I'm having here? How many sheets I'm having here? As you see, I'm not asking for this picture, I'm asking for this picture. As you know, I want you to add number 1, 2, 3. I want you to calculate 1, 2, 3. So how many sheets? I am having 4 sheets. How many sheets? 4 sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4. How can I know? From my worksheet tab or in my worksheet bar. Okay, I want you to use your pen. I'm sorry, I highlighted this by mistake. I don't want you to highlight how many. Okay. So, how many sheets in this book? And I highlighted for you or circled for you with red. You can see the numbers, sheet number 1, sheet number 2, sheet number 3, sheet number 4. So my answer will be 4 sheets. I'm giving you time to write. Here for my Excel, I'm having 5 sheets, and I teach you how to add new sheets. If you ask me how many sheets I can add, countless number. You can add whatever sheets you need. If you want to try it, you can try it and practice everything. I want you to open the Excel and try it. If you have a computer or laptop at your home, you can use it. If you don't have, you can download the Excel into your phone or iPad after you asking your parents for permission and help. Now let's go for the definition number 4. Definition number 4 is the active worksheet. What is the meaning of active worksheet? As you see here that I am having 5 sheets. Now, in which sheet I'm working now? I'm working now on sheet number 1. So, sheet number 1 here is the active sheet. Sheet number 1 here is the active sheet. Why? Because I choose this sheet and I am working on sheet number 1. Okay, if I choose sheet number 3, so the active sheet now is what? The active sheet now. The active sheet now is sheet number 3. Why? Because I'm working on sheet number 3. And you can tell which sheet I am working in. If you take a look on the sheet, the active sheet, you can find it that the name written in green, and there is like let's say it's like an open window. It's look like the folder. I'm choosing this tab from this folder. Let's go back to our worksheet here. So the worksheet in which are typing is the active sheet. So I want you now to highlight this one. Active sheet is the worksheet in which you are typing, the one you are working in or typing in. Any worksheet you click, it will be the active sheet. It will be the active sheet. For here, I'm asking you, what is the active sheet here? The active sheet here will be what? Sheet number 2. Good, perfect. The active sheet here is sheet number 2. Why? Because it has a different background. Here the background is, let's say it's gray, and here the background is white. Okay, let's go now to the 5th definition, which is the name box. I want you to highlight here the name box. Going back to my Excel, the name box will help me to find the reference cell. The reference cell or the name of the cell. Again, مرجع الخلية means reference cell or the name of the cell. If I click here, I don't need to draw a line. I don't need to. I'm going to show you now. If I am clicking here, I don't need to draw a line here to there and from here to here to know that I am talking about which cell I am talking about. Sorry. I'm talking about cell Q16. I can know the cell reference or the name of the cell using the box name. Here, I am having here the address name. The only thing I need is to click into whatever cell I want. This is, I'm clicking here, I don't know the name, I don't want to draw lines on my computer screen. So I click here and I'm looking here. What is the name for the cell? It's Q16. If I change it and go there, I'm not going to draw a line. So it's U20. If I go down there, it's L61. I don't need to draw any lines if I am doing it using my computer. I can go further if you want to. If I go further here, it's T113. I can't do this by drawing lines. It will be difficult. So using the name box will make my life easier and give me the name of any cell or any active cell. Going back to my sheet here. So the name box shows the cell reference of the active cell. Cell reference مرجع الخلية for the active cell, the cell I am putting my mouse on it. The cell I'm putting my mouse on. Now I'm going to head to the sixth definition, and I want you to highlight it, is the formula bar. The formula bar here is the box next to the name box. The formula bar will show me any equation or anything or any text or any number I am writing in this cell. Let's say I'm going to write my name, Engineer Maysaloon, here. So whatever I'm writing on this cell is written here on the formula bar or the formula box. Here, you can find it here. If I go to the next one, I can't find anything because it's empty. If I am writing here American Academy, I can find whatever I'm writing on the active cell is shown here on the formula bar. So the formula bar shows what we typing in the active cell. Whatever you typing on the active cell will be shown on the formula bar. I want you to try it. It's very important to try everything I am giving you on each lesson because practice is everything. It's very important to practice. Let's go now for the last thing and the last definition, which is resizing the column and row. What is the meaning of resizing? Resizing helped me to show the full area or the full active cell which I am writing in. Sometimes when I am writing, let's say here, let's go back here. Sometimes I'm writing numbers and these numbers big. I'm writing here a huge number or writing here a word or whatever I want. You can see for the numbers you can find it will be hashtags. It will be, as you see here, hashtag. It's inappropriate. It's not an error. This is telling me that the cell is not big enough for whatever I'm writing in. If you can see the formula bar, as we said earlier, you can find a huge number written here. So I want this number to be fully visible in the cell. Also, you can see here my name is written, but I have like a small line showing that the cell I'm writing on it is very small for my name, so it's go into the next column. So how can I do this? For the columns, you can see how the shape of the mouse is like a plus, a white plus. I can move my mouse into the column next to the letter H. You can see that the mouse shape is different and have two different arrows, one directed to the left and the other one directed to the right, using my mouse and pressing into left click and keep pressing. Press and keep pressing. Move the mouse to the left or to the right. It's according to the cell. And when you go further, the cell will be wider. When you go further, the cell will be wider. I'm going to do the same for the letters here. I'm pressing. I will wait the mouse to change from the white plus to the black one with two different arrows, one to the left and the other to the right. Next to the letter on the line, press using the left click and keep pressing and move the mouse while I'm still pressing. Don't let the mouse go. You need to keep pressing and make the cell wider. You can find that your name here, for my name, had a full cell. Let's say I'm having the problem of not showing the full data because the height of my cell. I want to change the height up and down. So I can do the same using the rows. You can see that my mouse is a white plus, then moving my mouse, you can find that the arrows now became from up to down, not from left to the right, up to down, because I'm going to change the height. بدي أغير الطول. I'm going to change the height. هون, here I'm going to change the width. بدي أغير العرض. Here I'm going to change the height. Pressing also using the left click and keep pressing. بضغط وبضلني ضاغط. Don't leave the mouse. ما تترك الماوس. And go down. You can see that I make the cell higher or wider. I make the cell bigger now. This is the row and column resizing. Can be resizing using the mouse handles. You can see the handles of the mouse between the columns or the header. After you move the mouse, you can resize the columns and the header by dragging the mouse. Keep pressing and dragging the mouse. I want you to practice this at home. Whatever I talked about today, I want you to highlight, to go through the definitions, and I want you to open the Excel and practice the worksheet, the workbook, the worksheet tab, the active worksheet, and so on. As I told you before, if you don't have a copy of this worksheet, I'm going to attach one along with the video. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you again at school. Good night and have a good time.